February 7th. God calls Moses up to the mountain in order to give what we know as the law. The people fully recognize God's unmistakable presence, and it terrifies them. As a result, they fully understand that what will emerge is truly God's blueprint and not something of Moses' own hand. To serve as the foundational documents for an entire nation, people have to know it is from the finger of God and not a product of human invention. And from chapter 19, verse 19, we see that they are fully convinced and the issue is settled. The first commandment God gives to His people is the prohibition on the creation of idols. God is a jealous God. Foundational to the relationship between God and His people is the proper recognition of who God is. There can be no toleration or recognition of other gods. If breached, the rest of the law is, in practical terms, rendered irrelevant. Everything hangs on this simple reality. The entire code God is giving them is based upon God's identity as the sole creator of the universe. Surrender that, and everything else is meaningless. God gives Moses 4 commands related to their relationship with Himself, and 6 involving their relationship with others, followed by guidelines for the building of altars of worship and regulations governing property and personal injury and liability. Note God's recognition of the rights of slaves, orphans, and widows, and that the law applies equally to all. The law's application isn't based upon one's status. Another key feature is that God's concern is not just for religious rituals and obligations, but also for justice and civil rights, for the whole of life. What we see in today's reading is the most detailed revelation of His character that God has given to date. In laying out regulations on civil liability and personal property issues, we see God Himself actually speculating and wargaming out hypothetical what-if scenarios. And it is difficult to overstate how truly unprecedented this is. That God is concerned about such details of everyday human existence speaks volumes to not only His concern for our lives, but to His desire to be a part of our lives. He wants our awareness of Him and our thoughts toward Him to permeate every area of our lives. How we think, how we behave toward others, and how we conduct ourselves in public and in private. There is no compartmentalization in God's design. He alone is God, and He is God of everything. Here's today's application. There is no area of your life for which God is not concerned. And it's a mistake to believe that it's okay to compartmentalize your life, to wall off certain areas that you believe don't matter to God. He wants to be the boss of all of your life. He is either Lord of all, or He is not Lord at all. Here's today's prayer.